Hi, my name is Beth. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to go over 3 recipes we can make with enchilada sauce. So the first one's going to be enchiladas. Then I'm going to show you how to do a freezer meal, or you can make it that day, which is an enchilada casserole. And then lastly, an enchilada soup. So using pretty much all the exact same ingredients, the enchilada soup has a few extra ingredients. We're going to go ahead and stock your freezer with a couple of meals as well. Okay, to make the chicken broth, you're gonna go ahead and fill up your pot with water. And then you're gonna go ahead and put in half of an onion. You can go ahead and cut it up into, 4 slices or quarters. You're gonna do 2 cloves of garlic. Make sure you peel the skins off of them. And then you're gonna go ahead and put in your chicken breasts. I'm making extra this week, just so I've got a lot, so I'm gonna do 4 chicken breasts. You want to make sure you just have enough water that it covers the chicken. Since I have 4 breasts, it's filling up the pot pretty high. And then you just put it on medium-high heat. And you're going to wait till that boils. Once it boils, you're going to wait another 30 minutes, and then the chicken should be done. But I'll go ahead and tell you exactly how long it ended up taking this time, as well as show you once it's ready to kind of how to check it. Okay, it's been 30 minutes, so we can go ahead and check the chicken. I like to just fork it and I kind of peel back and see if it's starting to peel. You can also just make sure it doesn't feel rubbery, or when you poke it, it should go in pretty easily. It shouldn't really be fighting back. If it is, just give it another 5 minutes, then go back and give another 5 until it's done. You can go ahead and remove this fat that went ahead and went on top. Okay, and then once all that's out, you can just remove your chicken. Don't toss this liquid though, because we're gonna use it for the salsa. Okay, for the salsa, we're just gonna take off the stems on the serranos. If you don't like spice, only put a couple in. I'm making a big batch, so we're gonna use 10 this time. And then we're gonna peel all of our tomatillos. So they're a little sticky, but you just take off this outside skin and peel that off. And then we'll wash them up, and then I'll show you the next step.
Make sure you mention the 10 serranos are a lot. That it's gonna be spicy. Because they're gonna see a white person making and putting 10 serranos. Oh, she's white. I can put 10 serranos on mine. This is white approved.
Okay, once they're all peeled, you're gonna go ahead and rinse them. Go ahead, remove your chicken if you haven't done so already. I'm just gonna put it on a plate. As you can see, it's falling right apart when I'm grabbing it. I'm not digging it in far enough, so it's definitely ready and done. We're gonna go ahead and now all of our tomatillos and serranos, we're just gonna go ahead and put them in there. Probably should have a bigger pot. Go ahead, turn the heat back on to medium high, and we're gonna go ahead and let that sit for about 5 minutes. Okay, so now you can see that they're starting to be more this brownish yellowish color, but you don't want to overcook them. Some of them are gonna be half and half. So you can see this one, it's pretty bright green on the one side, it's a little brown on the other. Go ahead and just move them around so that the darker green is in the water all the way, especially if your pot's pretty full. So mine are gonna go for another let's say 3 minutes, and then we'll probably take them out. And some of these are already done, so we could just take them out now. That way they don't overcook, because if they overcook, it's not gonna taste good. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and remove them now. Go We'll fit whatever we can in. Again, I'm making a really big batch because I want to show you a few other recipes you could do with the sauce. So anything else I'm going to put over to the side right now. And we'll just blend it in more than one batch. Okay, go ahead and fill it up as much as you can, and then fill it halfway with the chicken stock that was in their pot. So like the liquid that was left in your pot. And go ahead and blend it. Since it was so big, I'm going to do it in more than one batch. So I'm going to pour this into a bowl that'll be big enough to fit everything so we can mix it up so that, you know, there's not too many serranos in one in there. And we're also going to add onion and garlic. Alright, so now I'm on my next batch. I'm going to add 4 cloves of garlic. And if you're doing a smaller batch and it all fit in the first one, you can add the garlic and onion right away. And then I'm going to do half of a white onion. And then we're going to do the same thing and fill up halfway with the chicken broth. Pour it in to my big bowl. And then go ahead and add salt to taste. Okay, now go ahead and shred your chicken. Do it however you want. You can do it by hand. I like to do it also in like the KitchenAid if you have a paddle mixer. You just throw it in there and you put it on. It'll go ahead and shred it for you. Alright, another way I like to pull apart the chicken is I'll put it in a bowl and I will take my meat masher. And if you just go at it, it shreds it up pretty nice too. And it's a nice and quicker way to do it as well. But you can definitely just shred it by hand and pull it apart if you would prefer to do that. Once all your chicken's shredded up, we're going to go ahead and go back to the stove and get the sauce heated up and heat up our tortillas. Alright, go ahead and turn your pan on medium-high again. And go ahead and add about 2 tablespoons of oil. And then we're going to go ahead and add in some of our salsa. I'm not going to use it all. I'm just going to use what we're going to use for dinner today. So about 1/3 of this. You can see here I still have a lot of chicken broth left. Go ahead, let it cool down. Do not toss it. Go ahead and add either like chicken and noodles or vegetables. It makes a delicious soup. And if you don't want soup this week or you already have too much food, go ahead and freeze it. It freezes really nice as well. And then you can make salsa out of it in the future or soup. And you're going to wait till it goes ahead and goes to a boil. And then you're going to go ahead and turn it down low. In the meantime, you're going to go ahead and heat up a pot with oil, or a pan. So you can go ahead and fry your tortillas. I'm going to go ahead and put in the oil. About 10 seconds per side. And then go ahead and lay it on a plate with paper towel. Then you go ahead and take your one once it's dried off. Just cover it in the salsa. And then you're going to go ahead and put it on a plate. Okay, now that they're dipped in the salsa, you're just going to go ahead and add some of your shredded chicken in there and then roll them up. And then you can put as many on the plate as you want. You could, start with 4. Do as, 3, however many you want. Once you have as many as you want on your plate, go ahead and add some salsa on top of here. As you can see, I put the salsa on top. Now I'm just going to go ahead and add some Chihuahua cheese. You can buy it already pre-shredded. What I like to do is I buy it in a block because it's a little bit cheaper that way. And I'll buy it in a giant block, and then I will go ahead and shred it myself. You can also shred it and then freeze it, or even I cut the big block into smaller blocks and I freeze them individually. That way I can defrost just what I need for that meal. Once you go ahead and put it on top, go ahead and pop it in the microwave for about 1:30 so the cheese can melt. All right, now it's out of the microwave. It's ready to serve. Some people like to put raw onion on top of it, so you can go ahead and do that. If you want to put sour cream on it, you can. If you want to just eat it as is. If you're looking for a healthier option, this obviously is not it, but the salsa is healthy as well as the chicken. So I've also just done the chicken on a plate with some salsa on top and then added a little bit of the cheese, and that's really good as well if you're looking for a lower calorie option. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna make with the exact same ingredients is an enchilada casserole, and you can go ahead and freeze this so you've got a meal ready for you in the future. So we're gonna go ahead and take 1 cup of our enchilada sauce that we made and put it in a bowl. And then go ahead and take some of your leftover chicken breasts that you have left from that was already shredded and mix it in with your sauce. I'm just gonna do 2.5 large handfuls. Then you're gonna go ahead and mix it all up so the salsa and the chicken are incorporated. Once it's all mixed together, we're gonna go ahead and grab what you want to put in the freezer. I've got a 9x13 pan, but if you want to get a foil pan because you don't have one, that's fine also. You're going to go ahead and take your corn tortillas and just lay them at the bottom of the pan. I usually use 3, and what I'll do is I'll just break it to get that last little bit covered. So like that. Then you're going to go ahead and take about half of your chicken mixture and put it on top. And you're going to take 1 cup of beans. I like to use black beans, but you can use whatever you prefer. And just go ahead and spread it around so it's spread out evenly on this whole layer. Then you're going to take a little bit more salsa, about half of a cup, and sprinkle that on top of this layer. And then you're going to take your cheese of choice. Again, I just have Chihuahua cheese left over from the other day, and it works out great. You could also use pepper jack or whatever you got laying around in the house. We're just going to sprinkle some of that. And then we're going to add 1 more layer of tortillas. It doesn't have to match up how you did the layer below. It can, it's up to you. I like to spread it out like that. And we're going to repeat the exact same process. So we'll take the rest of our chicken mixture and another 1 cup of black beans, layer it with the last half a cup of enchilada sauce, and then sprinkle the top with cheese. And then it's done. It's ready to go in your freezer. And then the day you're ready to go ahead and cook it in the oven, take it out of the freezer the day before so it's defrosted. You're gonna preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Go ahead and cover it with foil and then pop it in the oven for only 30 minutes, and then you're gonna have a delicious dinner. If you want to, you can top it with some cut up tomatoes, add a little bit of cilantro, but again, it is ready as is if you want to just eat it that way. Okay, next is the enchilada soup. So what I like to do is I like to write on the bag what it is and then the cook time and stuff for it, since I'm going to put it in the freezer. So in the Instapot, if it's defrosted, it's going to go in the Instapot for 20 minutes on a quick release. If it's still frozen, you could still do it. It's just going to cook a little bit longer, so it's going to be 25 minutes and then do a quick release. And then I also put, which we'll get to in a second, to put 4 cups of water because we're going to have to put chicken broth in there. And I don't like the bag being too full in the freezer. So what I'll usually do is just add the water that day. First thing you're gonna do is go ahead and place in your chicken breast. I only do one, but if you have a bigger family, you can go ahead and definitely do more than one. You need 1 chopped up red bell pepper. You need 1 chopped up onion. 2 cloves of garlic, minced. 1 whole can of corn. Do not drain it. Leave the liquid in there. You need 2 cups of your enchilada sauce. Now you need 4 cups of chicken broth. If you've got the powder, go ahead and put the powder in. If you're using like liquid chicken broth, go ahead and wait on it and add it in the day of. Just label in your pantry like what it's for so you don't accidentally use it, because definitely have done that before. So I added 4 teaspoons just because I'm going to use this powder instead of liquid chicken broth. You need 1 cup of Greek yogurt. Get the plain, non-fat. One teaspoon of chili powder. 1 teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. And then if you want, you could put a teaspoon in of sriracha. I don't have sriracha, so I'm just going to use this hot sauce. But again, if you don't like spicy, definitely don't do it, because your enchilada sauce, if you made it from scratch, is going to be spicy enough. Which I did, but my family really likes spice, so we're going to put it in there. Go ahead and add 1 can of black beans, and then it's ready to go. Just zip it up and pop it in your freezer. Well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed these 3 easy meals, and I hope that you're able to make them for your family in the future. If you like this type of content, feel free to subscribe so you can get notified when I post the next video.